Fyodor Dostoevsky created a literary masterpiece. It plunges us into the depths of the human psyche. Before reflecting on this masterful piece of work, be sure to like, love, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if anything resonates with you. Without further ado, the novel is set in the oppressive atmosphere of 19th century St. Petersburg, Russia. We meet Rodion Raskolnikov, a destitute former student. He grapples with poverty and his own nihilistic philosophy. Driven to desperation, Raskolnikov commits a double murder. He kills an elderly pawnbroker. He also kills her sister, Lizaveta, who unexpectedly walks in on the scene. Raskolnikov justifies his actions with a dangerous theory. He believes he is an extraordinary individual. He thinks he is above conventional morality. The murders throw Raskolnikov into a whirlwind of guilt and paranoia. He is haunted by his actions. Dostoevsky masterfully portrays his psychological descent. The novel becomes a gripping exploration of sin, guilt, and the possibility of redemption. Dostoevsky paints a vivid picture of St. Petersburg. The city becomes a character in itself. Its crowded streets and stifling apartments reflect the social and moral decay of the time. Poverty is everywhere. It seeps into the lives of the characters, shaping their choices and destinies. Raskolnikov's crime is driven in part by his desperate circumstances. He lives in a tiny, rented room. He is constantly worried about money. He sees the pawnbroker as a parasitic figure. He rationalizes his crime as a way to help himself and others trapped in poverty. The city's oppressive atmosphere contributes to Raskolnikov's mental deterioration. He feels suffocated by the poverty and injustice around him. The city becomes a symbol of the social ills that Dostoevsky sought to expose. Fyodor Dostoevsky's own life experiences deeply influenced his book Crime and Punishment. He knew poverty and suffering firsthand. He experienced a near-death experience that transformed his worldview. Early in his life, Dostoevsky was involved in revolutionary activities. This led to his arrest and a mock execution. He was then sentenced to hard labor in Siberia. This experience had a profound impact on him. It solidified his religious beliefs and his understanding of human suffering. Dostoevsky's time in prison exposed him to the harsh realities of the criminal justice system. He witnessed the psychological toll of imprisonment and the complexities of morality. These experiences would later find their way into his writing, giving his characters and themes an unparalleled depth and authenticity. At the heart of Crime and Punishment is the exploration of Raskolnikov's psychology. He is a complex character. He is driven by a dangerous idea, the belief that he is an extraordinary man. He thinks he is above the law and conventional morality. Raskolnikov justifies his crime by arguing that some individuals, like Napoleon, have the right to transgress moral boundaries for a greater good. He sees himself as one of these extraordinary individuals. He believes his crime will liberate him from poverty and allow him to do great things. However, his theory is deeply flawed. It leads him down a path of self-destruction. Dostoevsky masterfully portrays the inner workings of Raskolnikov's mind. He shows how intellectual arrogance can lead to moral blindness and ultimately to despair. The weight of guilt. After the murders, Raskolnikov is consumed by guilt and paranoia. He is haunted by his actions. he experiences feverish nightmares and hallucinations. Dostoevsky brilliantly portrays the psychological torment of a guilty conscience. Raskolnikov's mental state deteriorates throughout the novel. He becomes increasingly isolated. He is suspicious of everyone around him. He fears being caught. His guilt manifests itself in physical and psychological ways. He suffers from paranoia, insomnia, and eventually a near-total mental breakdown. Through Raskolnikov's experience, Dostoevsky explores the idea that true punishment is not inflicted by the law, but by the human conscience. He shows that guilt can be a powerful and destructive force. Sonia, a beacon of hope. Amidst the darkness of the ominous story, there is a glimmer of hope in the character of Sonia Marmeladova. She is a young woman forced into prostitution to support her family. Despite her own suffering, she embodies compassion and faith. Sonia becomes Raskolnikov's confidant. She listens to his confession. She urges him to confess his crime and seek redemption. She represents the possibility of spiritual renewal. She believes in the power of suffering to purify the soul. Sonia's unwavering faith and compassion offer Raskolnikov a path to redemption. She becomes a symbol of hope in the novel. She shows that even in the darkest of circumstances, love and compassion can endure. The investigator and the confessor. The cat and mouse game between Raskolnikov and Porfiry Petrovich, the investigating magistrate, is one of the most compelling aspects of the novel. Porfiry is a shrewd and insightful detective. He suspects Raskolnikov early on. However, he lacks concrete evidence. Porfiry engages Raskolnikov in a series of psychological mind games. He probes Raskolnikov's philosophy and motivations. He tries to break down Raskolnikov's intellectual defenses. He hopes to lead him to a confession. Their encounters are tense and intellectually stimulating. They highlight the psychological battle between the criminal and the investigator. Redemption through suffering. Throughout the novel, Dostoevsky explores the possibility of redemption through suffering. Raskolnikov's path to redemption is long and arduous. He is initially resistant to confessing his crime. He clings to his intellectual justifications. However, through Sonia's influence and his own overwhelming guilt, Raskolnikov eventually confesses. He accepts his punishment. He is sentenced to 8 years of hard labor in Siberia. This marks a turning point in his journey. He begins to experience genuine remorse and a desire for spiritual renewal. Dostoevsky suggests that true redemption requires more than just punishment. It demands a transformation of the soul. It requires acknowledging one's sins, accepting responsibility, and seeking forgiveness. This timeless masterpiece remains a timeless masterpiece. Its exploration of guilt, punishment, and the depths of the human psyche continues to resonate with readers today. The novel's themes of social inequality, poverty, and the allure of radical ideologies remain relevant in the 21st century. Dostoevsky's masterpiece reminds us of the power of literature to explore the complexities of the human condition. It challenges us to confront our own moral compass. It encourages us to seek understanding and compassion in a world often marked by suffering and injustice. It's not merely a crime novel, it is a profound meditation on the human condition. It is a testament to the enduring power of literature to illuminate the darkest corners of our souls and to offer a glimmer of hope in the face of despair.